Hey team, if you're tuning in to this explainer, I know you're likely right in the thick of it. I want to just take a second to acknowledge the massive pressure, the looming deadlines, and quite frankly, the high-stakes uncertainty we're all facing right now. It's a lot to carry, isn't it? We're dealing with moving targets, super high expectations, and environments where things are literally changing by the hour. But today, we're going to talk about a strategic framework for managing that exact pressure, and we're drawing it from some of the most enduring leadership philosophy in history. So, let's get real about our shared anxiety for a second. Why are we burning out over things we don't control? Think back to the tension we all felt during last quarter's Q4 pitch. You know the feeling, that tight feeling in your chest, or those thoughts just looping in your head at 2 a.m. Why does that happen? Well, usually it's because we're waiting for opaque outcomes. We're sitting around waiting on a client's final decision, or an answer about a delayed promotion, or maybe a massive shift in the budget. We're essentially burning ourselves out trying to mentally force a result that just isn't actually in our hands. To fix this, we need to look at our first concept, the Stoic divide and claiming your territory. This is the exact foundation that Marcus Aurelius used to build his inner discipline. And remember, he was a Roman emperor managing absolutely unimaginable stress and crises. But if you can get clear on this one concept, most of your anxiety simply loses its grip. It's a basic divide, 2 columns. Some things are up to you and some are not. What do you actually own outright? Well, it's a pretty short, honest list. Your judgments, the story you tell yourself about what happened, your choices, your desires, and your own actions. That is your territory. Now, what's not in your power? A much, much longer list. Other people, their opinions, the final results of your efforts, your reputation, the economy, the weather, the past, the future, the whole shebang. You can influence a lot of these things, absolutely, but you command literally none of them. Staking your peace on the wrong list is exactly what causes our suffering. It's a single, massive mistake we all make. We stake our peace and our entire identity on that second list. We tell ourselves, I'll be fine once the promotion comes, or I'll be totally okay once the client signs, or once the test results are clean. But when we do this, we're handing our well-being over to outside forces that do not take orders from us. We are making our stability conditional on the completely unpredictable. Let's look at how to apply this. Section 2, the Emerald Mindset and Shielding Your Reputation. We all have this vivid, completely relatable fear of being judged by our coworkers, right? It's a huge source of stress in the workplace. What happens when a coworker thinks you're arrogant, or a boss is being overly critical, and you end up replaying that interaction in your head for days? Well, Marcus Aurelius was surrounded by flatterers and critics 24/7, and he used this incredible mental image. An emerald keeps its green color whether or not anyone praises it. It's brilliant. Your personal integrity, your decency, doing good work, that remains entirely in your column. Another person's judgment, that lives entirely inside their mind, not yours. You can act well, sure, but you can't reach into someone else's skull and just install respect. Your value absolutely doesn't change just because someone else fails to see it. Moving on to part 3, dissecting the threat and the partly controllable test. Now, professional threats are rarely black and white. Think about prepping for a massive pitch. You control the research and the training, right? But definitely not the final contract. Let's take a delayed promotion as an example. Say you were passed over. The immediate panicky worry is, oh man, I'll never get ahead here. But let's break that down. The result, the final decision, the company's budget, your boss's specific preferences, or whatever your colleague did to get chosen, is not yours. But the effort, that is entirely yours. Asking for specific feedback, stepping up to improve that one skill they flagged, updating your resume, or even just deciding whether to stay at the company, all of that is sitting right there in your column. The real Stoic move here is to break that mixed thread apart, claim the effort, and totally release the result. So, how do we actually execute this? Part 4. The Playbook, and the 2-column sort. I want to give you a precise mechanical procedure for dismantling your anxiety in real time. It's simple to say, but I promise it takes a lifetime to practice. Here is your 5-step playbook. Step 1, catch the worry. The exact second you notice that tight chest or that looping thought, freeze the frame and just name the worry in one plain sentence. Step 2, draw 2 columns, literally on paper or in your head, labeled in my control and not in my control. Step 3, sort the pieces of your worry into those buckets. Step 4, and this is the hardest one, mentally cross out everything in the right column. Just strike it through. And finally, step 5, pour all your energy into the left column and pick your very next action. And I really want to stress this. Actually, physically splitting the worry on a piece of paper does most of the heavy lifting here. Don't just do it vaguely in your head if you're really stressed out. Grab a pen and write it out. When you cross out that right column, remember something absolutely crucial. It does not mean the outcome doesn't matter. It doesn't mean you don't care if you get the promotion. It simply means the outcome doesn't answer to you. Worrying about it is literally paying rent on land you don't own. It is just a massive waste of your highly valuable mental capital.
Which brings us to part 5, the drill, and our 48-hour challenge.
Look, understanding the theory is great, but we really need to build the muscle. So, over the next 48 hours, I'm issuing a challenge. I want you to keep a running log, either in your phone notes or a small notebook. I'm looking for a minimum of 5 entries. Every single time you catch yourself stressed or replaying an event, stop, write the worry down in one sentence. Run the 2-column sort, cross out the uncontrollable stuff, and most importantly, extract and write down one concrete action you're going to take from the left column.
Before you go do that, let's look at part 6, watch your step, and some common traps. Because we are such an ambitious, driven team, we sometimes kind of warp the rules to fit our desire for control. So let's just knock out these 3 common pitfalls right now. Mistake number 1, sorting outcomes wrong. Ambitious people want results so badly that they'll literally file getting the job under in my control, and then they just suffer when reality disagrees. Remember, effort and outcome are not fused together. Mistake number 2, using not in my control as a convenient excuse to quit. Releasing the result doesn't mean releasing the work, guys. True acceptance is what frees you to act without flinching. It's not a reason to stop trying. And mistake number 3, sorting once and never acting. The inside feels really good, so you accidentally mistake understanding for doing. The sort isn't actually finished until you've taken a real-world step.
Finally, part 7, act, don't agonize. The entire point of this philosophy is to move you out of paralysis and into decisive execution. Understanding this divide has to translate into immediate, focused action. So here is your ultimate takeaway. Your 2 most reliable possessions are always going to be your next action and your interpretation of events. That's it. Spend your energy only on what answers to your will, because energy spent stewing over a client's mood or a colleague's hidden agenda is energy literally stolen from the column that can actually change your situation. Claim the effort, release the result. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this. When you look at your worries right now, today, what is the one controllable action you are currently avoiding because you're just too busy stressing about the outcome? Identify it, and then go do it.